Glover. This will be a short video explaining the Electoral College. Now, the Electoral College is a group of electors that formed every 4 years during the election for the sole purpose of voting for the president and vice president. It's in the second article of the Constitution. So the number of votes you get for a state is the number of senators you have, which every state is 2 senators, not this number of representatives, which is determined by population, which the population or representative counts dependent on the census, which happens every decade. And each state appoints electors using legal procedures determined by its legislature, equal in number to its congressional delegation, which are the representatives and their 2 senators, which totals to, combined, approximately 535 electors. So, I mean, there's 535 people who decide who wins, which, for a nation of probably, I think it's 300 million people, something like that. It's obviously not 300 million. I think it's like 350 million. I'm gonna look. I think it's like 350 million. I'm not sure though. Check. But now, the U.S. has from December of last year 340, 335, 340. So basically, now 300. I don't know about you, but 340 million people are represented by only 535 people. Plus, this is Colombia getting free, but you know. Which is very representative in a representative democracy. Very good job. Alright, in all seriousness, in 1961, the District of Columbia got free presidential electors. They don't vote on anything. They only do something in the election. The federal office holders, so senators and representatives, cannot be electors because it's disastrous enough. Congress is disastrous enough right now. Presidential election would be even worse if Congress were to vote. But of the current electors, a simple majority of 270 or more is required to elect the president. And for vice president, the president chooses them as their running mate. It used to be whoever gets the second most amount of votes, which means Donald Trump, or Joe Biden in this case, if we're talking about 2020, would have Donald Trump as his vice president, which would be extremely funny not, for everyone who isn't in the U.S., and would be extremely dangerous for everyone in the U.S. because it's bad enough. It's bad enough when Congress can't agree, but when the executives can't agree, that's even worse. But if no candidate gets at least 270, a contingent election is voted by the House of Representatives, who has 435, so 100 less, to elect the president, and by the Senate to elect the vice president. And the reason why is because there's 50 senators, there's two senators for every state, so 100 senators. So you add that to the House of Representatives number, so you get 535 plus the District of Columbia, you get 538 in total. That was so confusing. And the Senate elects the vice president, and yes, there can be a tie in the Senate. They really should have fought some of this out better, but I don't blame them. The states in the District of Columbia hold a statewide or district-wide popular vote on Election Day in November, usually I think it's the first Tuesday in November, to choose electors based upon how they have pledged to vote for president and vice president. Some state laws prevent faithless electors who do not vote for the party their state wants. And gray means no rules, green means you can do it. I think green means like a fine. Dark red means it's illegal. Light red means like also a fine. I forgot what this P means, unfortunately. But yeah, meaning all their electors go to one ticket, so they use a uh winner takes all, which essentially means, let's just say Florida. Let's just say Trump wins 15, Biden wins 14 in Florida. So Trump would get all 29. So Biden would not get the 14 votes he won. Now Biden did not win 13 in Florida. Obviously, it's just a simple sample scenario. And in Maine and Nebraska, on the other hand, use a district system. They choose one elector per district and two electors for the ticket with the highest statewide vote. Essentially meaning, let's just say, if more people vote Biden and Harris in Nebraska or Maine, they'll get 2 representatives, and the districts of the state will have one representative. Nebraska is 3 districts, meaning Biden could win one district and gets one, and Trump would get the other four if Trump got more votes in the state. Same thing with Maine, except in this case, Trump got one district and Biden got the statewide vote in the other district. So yeah, and so that's how it works. Which I also prefer district system. I think it's better, but the electors will meet and vote in December, as in like you vote in November. It's really weird. I don't. It's really confusing. The inauguration of the president and vice president will take place in January. And some people don't like it, some people do. And the popular vote, how the popular vote works is that's the other thing people use, which popular vote doesn't actually matter since, I mean, how the popular vote is, because it only determines who gets more votes, doesn't determine who wins. And so the only time, only 5 elections did the person who did not win the popular vote win. Case of 1824, where people ran. The John Quincy Adams won because no one got the majority, even though Andrew Jackson got more votes. 1876, Samuel Tilden got more votes in terms of the popular vote, but Benjamin Harrison was decided as the winner. In 1888, which Benjamin Harrison defeated Grover Cleveland. If you can't tell, that was close as well. It's so weird seeing California with only 8 votes, and then New York has 36 and Florida has 4. It's so weird. If we use this map today, it'd be insane. I mean, can you imagine if we use this map today? But anyway, in 2000, I mean, I think everyone knows up in 2000, Bush won Florida by like less than 600 votes. I think we all know how infamous that was. And in 2016, well, we don't talk about 2016. It was bad. No one liked either candidate, and a bunch of people voted for random people. Such as one person voted for Bernie Sanders, someone voted for a Native American, someone voted for Powell, which I believe these three Patriots, Paul and Powell, were all third parties. Spotted Eagle was a Native American. And Bernie Sanders is the senator. Is it senator? I think it is. I think he's the senator of Vermont. Let me double check that so I don't forget. Yep, he's a senator. Okay. Oh, wait, I just want to say, 2007. He's been, thought he was there longer. Anyway, and faithless electors may not vote in accordance with their but and the swing states, which are states which should go either Republican or Democrat, generally get more attention because they usually will have more votes. Such as how Florida at one point was a swing state, so everyone was like, "We need Florida," and Pennsylvania was more so Democrat. I mean, these three were all Democrat, and they all vote the same. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. But anyways, that's there for the short explanation on the Electoral College. We're also with a tie system, which is pretty confusing, but the House of Representatives choose who wins, and the Senate chooses the Vice President. So yeah. Anyways, there's a majority. And the electors of each state will meet in the representative state capital on the first Tuesday after the second Wednesday of December, so between December 14th and 20th, to cast their votes, and the results after are sent to and counted by Congress, and a joint meeting of the Senate and House are presided by the current vice president, and should a majority not be cast, a contingent election takes place. The House holds an election, and one vote was cast for each of the 50 states, which sounds pretty good until you realize something, that California has the same amount of votes as North Dakota. And I don't know about you, but if someone does really well in the small states, they could win the election. Even if, like, over 50% of the nation didn't even vote for him, which, I mean, yeah, it'd be pretty bad if a tie happens. But anyways, that is going to do it for this short explanation of the Electoral College. I hope you guys enjoyed, and goodbye, everyone.